Have you watched Survivor? This is the big question. Because I would like to talk about it, but I do not want to spoil. Muse has. Mike, have you? I know you have to go to a meeting in a minute, but I want to talk about Survivor. Because, hoo boy, is what I have to say. What a premiere. Spoiler alerts for the Survivor 45 premiere, which aired last night. So many things happened. So many things. Let me move this over here for right now. Okay. I just can't believe, excuse me, that in a 90-minute episode, there still was a whole twist we didn't even see. Like, what I actually want to talk about was what wasn't on television, because that's wild. I mean, I also want to talk about what was on television, but let's talk about this twist. For people who don't know, if you are watching this after the fact, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. So if you are watching on Twitch before it goes away, you can click on this link, I think, and see what I'm talking about. Did I not copy it? Well, I want to paste. Ay, come on, gang. Let's go, technology. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's the link. Shout out Mike Bloom, who gets shouted out on this stream all the time now, thanks to Bright Bloom seeds on Zelda. There was a twist we did not see where a player from the winning tribe, so from Bello, I think, the blue one, went to the yellow camp, to Lulu, after the immunity challenge. And impressive how they were able to edit around that footage from Camp 2. Yeah, we had no idea that there was someone from another tribe there that whole time, while all of that madness was happening. And I felt like they had a conversation that had like 5 people in it. Like, it felt like there was a well, maybe Sean was spending all his time with whoever this extra person was, and that's why Sean was like not in the post-immunity challenge part of the episode. That would kind of check out. If anyone needs an example of how editing can impact our perception of a situation. Oh, 100%. Ran, have you watched Survivor? Yes, you have, because we've already talked about this. Okay, good, because we're talking about it. I was just proposing that maybe you have the negative points. You do. Yeah, the point spread in the Rock Squad draft is wild. From 14 points to minus 0.5 points. And it was almost 15 before I took off the point for Austin losing his vote, which we'll get to. But we were just talking about the twist. Poor Chappelle getting the grenade again. I literally was like, who did Chappelle draft? Because I don't want them in my team. But I'm really glad I did listen to Mike's preseason interviews, which I hadn't done last season. I didn't have time. Because the vibes that I got, I think, continue to be right. And so, shout out to people who had Hannah or Emily as their winner picks. No. Hi, Jester. Your team's intact. My team's intact. Okay, but so we were talking about this twist of I had bad vibes from Emily preseason. Me too. I mean, I think she's very self-aware, but she's not doing anything about it. dodge the bomb that dropped last night. Yeah. I almost wanted to switch too because she has a Hedwig tattoo on the back of her neck. She has the same tattoo that Carla has, I want to say on her calf or maybe on her forearm. I can't remember. The lower half of a limb anyway. That is part of a Hedwig tattoo that I want to get. And I wanted to be like, Hedwig tattoo fam strong. No. We're not doing that. Yikes. I feel really bad for her. I feel really bad for everybody. Like, it's a bummer that happened. I don't need chaos on day one. That's fatiguing. Yeah, these two are going to be a tight pair 6 votes down the road, so we better split them up now. Even without the racist optics, which is enough of a reason for it to be bad, is just not good gameplay. Especially when you yourself are pointing out that half of the pair you're trying to split up and the half of the pair that you're trying to vote out is the reason you got anywhere in the challenge in the first place. You said that yourself. You're like, look, he's the only one who did anything in the challenge, but I think I should vote him out because his friendship with one other person could be a problem. Post-merge? ? It's the first vote, my dude. Calm down. It was stressing me out. It was funny because in the PSR Discord, people were like, they're going to come back with nothing, and Emily's not going to believe them. They could come back with something, and Emily's still going to think they're lying, and they're right. She doesn't believe anybody about anything. Cosmo's barking at Spooky. Hey! Leave it! Cosmo. We were at the dog park for so long this morning, and she found a new friend to, run with. And now she's fighting a cat. Just because she can. Good place. Good job. To be fair, you shouldn't believe anyone about anything. That said, Emily is a lot. I feel like the way she is behaving on the show 100% tracks with her preseason stuff with Mike. But that said, she knows that she's a pessimist. She knows herself, but she's not doing anything to mitigate that attitude around these people. On day 1/2/3. Holy hell, my dude. She got very lucky, I think, that she did not go home last night. She should not believe them privately or maybe tell her one trusted ally. She doesn't have a trusted ally. She has nobody because she's very clearly judging everybody. You could see it from the Matt chat. And she was like, can I push back on Bruce? Why are you pushing back on the... You just got here. You're trying to make enemies on another tribe day 1? Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, I don't know. And as people were saying on Twitter, it's never been a better time to be purple than on this tribe. The fact that we're not seeing Sean bodes really well for him right now. Because there were a potential of 4 targets on a 6-person tribe going into tribal last night. The only people who seemed to definitely be safe were Sean and Sabaya. Fucking nuts. An absolute mess of a tribe. Yeah, I think we all knew that from day 1. I was pretty sure they were going to go to tribal council first. It's why I've had a draft rule that I would not put more than 1 person from the yellow tribe on my draft team because I feel like they are doomed to go to tribal a lot. But we'll see. Especially because, like, they don't have a machete. They don't have a pot. Now they don't have a flint. So, like, they don't have fire. They don't have shelter. They don't have food. They're just going to, and they have Emily irritating the shit out of everybody. They're just going to keep going further and further down this, like, rabbit hole of defeat. I don't know. Okay, but let's talk about the twist situation. If anybody missed it, Mike Bloom dropped multiple articles right after the episode finished about A, Hannah's quit, and B, this twist that we didn't even get to see because so many other things were happening. But somebody from Bella won immunity first, right? I think that's right. Yes. And so somebody from the Blue Tribe, we don't know who, got to go to Lulu, the Yellow Tribe, and hang out after the immunity challenge, watch them all scramble and whatever, and then cast a vote at Tribal Council. Or would have voted. Like, wrote down a vote, I guess, that didn't matter, ultimately, which is why the twist didn't get aired. But had a vote. Would have had an impact at Tribal Council. That's too much. I love things that involve cross-tribal interactions. I think it's something that makes the pre-merge really exciting if you can do that, especially given they haven't done a swap in the new era. Anything that allows you to build cross-tribal relationships beforehand is really good. But it is so deeply unfair to let somebody who is not on the tribe vote. Because you don't have the tribe's interest at heart. You're on a different tribe. Like, it's bad enough when you can visit somebody else's tribe and, like, put a target on their back by pretending they have an idol when they don't. That's as far as it should be able to go. You don't get to decide who goes home on somebody else, because, like, then it behooves you to vote out their strongest member. Not that your single vote can do that, but, like, no voting on somebody else's tribe. Don't like it. Don't like it. Don't do it. Stop. Shut it down. Even though Tribal turned out the way that it did, I'm still kind of astonished that Jeff allowed his precious twist to not get aired in favor of us seeing more of, like, what was going on with the people, which is great. I think that was a great editing choice, frankly, but I can't believe it. The vote isn't likely to matter, at least in a 6-person tribe, if this keeps going on throughout the pre-merge. That's concerning. Yeah, I agree. And it seems possible that that's what's going to happen. The wording, I feel like, was kind of ambiguous, so I don't know. It would honestly be weirder if it was only a thing that happened for the first immunity. But we'll see, I guess. I want one of my picks to go home early so I can replace them on my draft for Emily. What, you want to put Emily on your draft team? It's just interesting after one of the behind-the-scenes articles that came out featuring the team who comes up with the twists. Like, I would like a word with y'all. I mean, we all would. We're all so tired of it. Nobody likes Sweat versus Savvy. Make it stop. Let these poor people spend time with their tribe on the first day. But then, as I think Gordon Holmes pointed out, nobody wanted to form a cross-tribal relationship while the 4 of them were there. Because I think it became clear fairly early that they were not going to accomplish both things. Nobody was. And they should have... Production would have hated this, and I would have loved it if they'd all just been like, fuck this shit, we can't do it, let's do something to get, like, make an alliance together. Like the Tocantins Exile Island Secret 4. On day one, amazing. Do it. I wish. I thought this was an okay sweat versus Savvy, but then Emily. But then Emily, a lot of things. Of course, Queen Emily will be getting those visibility points. Also, with Brandon on the tribe, she's guaranteed another episode. I don't know that that's true. I think it's hugely possible she goes home next week. Because I think it's extremely likely that Lulu goes to tribal again next week. And while Brandon is so far a liability in the challenges, it's not like Emily is a challenge beast and she's rubbing everybody the wrong way. I think if Hannah didn't quit, Emily goes home last night. You can always vote out Brandon the next time. Yeah, but you'd rather have Brandon around. Like, if you see your trajectory as we're going to all the tribal councils, which feels very possible for this group of people, you get rid of the person you can't stand first. All other things being equal. Because if your challenge performance doesn't actually matter that much because you're gonna suck, which is what this feels like, get rid of the person who's driving everybody crazy. I bet Emily goes next, but it could be correct to vote out Brandon since he's got long-term potential to damage. I can't see Emily ever making friends with anyone. Right. He's at least moderately more loyal. Yeah. He definitely is. Like, I think he did a great job of being very, like, honest about what he's going through, about where he's at. He's like, look, I'm in a lot of pain. This is really hard. And I'm having so much fun. And I'm so glad I'm here. Like, people are complex creatures who can be having multiple feelings at the same time. Like, it felt like last night, even though he had one of the worst, like, premier challenge performances ever across everything they had to do, he wasn't gonna go home last night. I only have one feeling ever. Rage. My theory is that Brandon is the next just because he also quits. You think Brandon... I don't know that Brandon has it in him to quit. Like, I know it's really hard for him. But he has wanted this so badly for so long. And he's friends with so many people in the community. I don't think so. I just don't think so. That would kill me if the first two 90-minute episodes are quits. Chris of the Fat Five still won after not being able to cross the balance beam. I don't remember that. But, oh, you're talking about, no, enough. Vanuatu? Yeah. My knowledge of, like, seasons 9, 10, 11 are not good. I think I've only watched Vanuatu once. And I must have finished it because at one point I did watch them all start to finish. But it was probably only that one time, and at this point that would have been 6.5, 7 years ago. There's been a lot of Survivor since then. Let me look at last night. Emily had the second most confessionals behind Sabaya, actually. and then it was Kendra and Brandon. Impressive that Kendra is up there, given that she was on the Blue Tribe, who we barely saw. But she talked a lot during the Astrology Island segment, as I'm calling it. But she said Kendra, who came and visited, was voting for Brandon. Wait, who said that? We finally know the truth about pyramids. What was the batteries thing? Like, aliens is not a totally foreign theory. It's insane, but... Oh, wait. Wait, who said Kendra was the one who came and was voting for Brandon? I still don't think Brandon was going home last night. And also, Kendra's vote, irrelevant. She's not going to be there next week, probably. Hannah said that. But, okay. Let's think about this. Brandon's voting Emily. Hannah's voting Emily, if she voted. I think for their own safety, Caleb and Sabaya are voting Emily. That's 4. Regardless of what Sean, who doesn't exist, is doing. And Emily's voting Caleb, not Brandon. I don't think anybody else was voting Brandon. Caleb brought it up briefly, but I don't think there was any legitimacy in that, really. I think Caleb will only have voted Brandon if Brandon basically did what Hannah did and was like, vote for me, I want to go home. But what Brandon was saying is, I'm going to play my shot in the dark because I want to stay. And I can't blame you guys for trying to vote me out, but I don't want to go home. No. No! Hannah said that in her exit interview. Okay. I still don't think the numbers were there for Brandon to go home last night, and I certainly don't think Kendra saying she was voting for Brandon will have any relevance next week. I mean, it could be not Emily. It could be Brandon. I don't see it. For exactly the reason that I think Rand said is you vote Emily because you can always vote Brandon next time. Are there any other players people have strong feelings about after the first episode? I feel like my winner pick, Katurah, came off looking really good. Sitting down next to Jake and being like, what's it like being a lawyer? It's so fucking funny. And I think really smart. Nothing says I'm not a lawyer like asking someone else what it's like to be a lawyer. Listen, I'm always going to back a black queer woman to know how to navigate any situation. And she's a lawyer. She's so smart. I think she's really savvy as to what it's going to take to make it through working with a group of diverse people. And I just look forward to seeing her go really far and win. I feel really good about her. I feel really good about Sabaya, too. Even though I feel very bad about the prospects of the Yellow Tribe, I feel like Sabaya is in a good spot for the long haul, like her trucking. I do think if Brandon flops again, I could see Caleb and Sabaya flipping on him. Also, Shipwheel Island could come into play. It's possible. I think it's a dangerous choice for Caleb and Sabaya to do that, given that Emily is targeting them as a pair very vocally. And I think no food and no shelter is just going to make the way she is rubbing people the wrong way escalate really quickly. Austin is looking good for long-term success. I've put him on most of my draft teams too. I feel really good about Austin. It's promising that he managed to find the idol clue. I'm excited about idol clues, by the way. Without people knowing, it helped that Sifu was very conspicuously looking, and he was like, they don't even notice I'm gone. Of course they do. Of course they do. It's day one, my dude. Yeah, he doesn't have his vote right now, but I don't see them going to tribal. Like, yes, they have Drew, the like very tall, skinny boy. But Austin and Sifu are both like physical powerhouses, and I think the women can hold their own. And Yellow is just such a mess. That Austin has time to complete these tasks, to find an idol and get his vote back. And for all we know, he did that already, and they just didn't have time to show it, and it doesn't matter because they weren't at tribal, so who cares if he has his vote right now? You know? I imagine in a world where Amazing Race is only an hour, this was a 2-hour premiere. But you couldn't do 2-hour premieres of both shows and make Amazing Race go from 10 to midnight. That's not happening. So I think they had to stick with the 90 minutes, and clearly they could have put so much more in, and there just wasn't time. You mean they have 2 skinny boys on Reba? There's Drew, and then there's... Who? Austin and Sifu are on Reba. What are you talking about? Are you making a joke I'm not getting? Is this a Reba joke? Because I don't know the work of Reba McEntire especially well. Oh, yeah. Oh, Basile. I thought he was saying the seal. Either way, I don't like that second guy. He creeps me out. Drew seems fine. His party boy alter ego, get him away from me. He's like, I'll put my hand on your arm and be like, hey, what's up? No, don't do that. Get away from me. Oh, Basile. Okay. You know what it is? Well, people know Drew Seeley. I know Drew Seeley because he was in Jersey Boys when I worked there, and we became friends. And so I keep thinking his name is Drew Seeley. So I thought he was saying there's Drew and there's the seal, like Seeley. Basile. Okay. I don't like it. Either way, those 2 skinny guys are contained in one strange man. And I think Austin and Sifu are going to carry that tribe, no problem. And so Austin having lost his vote, I think is not going to be an issue. Especially if you just have to not be last to avoid tribal council, they're going to be fine. That is my prediction. What are your thoughts on J. Maya? Didn't get too much of her this episode, but puns. Yeah, she was barely in the episode. I think she had one confessional. puns are not my sense of humor. But, you know, we'll see how much we get of anybody on the Red Tribe for now. We didn't really get anything from Julie or Dee either. We had like one confessional from each of them. Puns, dad jokes, or both. I don't like any of it. Hi, Mike. Especially with Sifu running around looking for idols and Austin having found an idol. I predict we're not going to get a lot from the Reba women for a hot minute. Would be my educated guess. God, it's nice to be able to talk about a show where I understand what's going on and what to expect from editing. Oh, Lord. I feel bad. I was trying to remember the cast, and J. Maya was the one on Reba. I couldn't remember. I mean, I don't think you can be blamed for that. She was all the women were barely there. I really liked Julie in her preseason interview. And I feel good about her going far. I just don't think she's going to earn a lot of draft points. And I don't think she can win. But I think I may have put her on one draft. I mean, like 5 drafts. I think I put her on one draft team just for fun. How can people be barely there in 90-minute episodes? Feels wild. Because they spent 15 minutes on Astrology Island with the Blue Tribe, and they spent, 15 minutes on Conspiracy Island with the Yellow Tribe. And the Red Tribe time got taken up by Sifu and Austin looking for idols. That's how. And you just don't, even in a 90-minute episode, you just don't get as much of the tribes that don't go to Tribal Council. Because as soon as that immunity challenge is over, the rest of the episode is focused on the tribe that's going to Tribal. Which is, makes sense, but certainly, weights the visibility more heavily in favor of those people. And it is a little bit like, you're not going to Tribal, there's no chance of you going home, we have time to see you next week. I'll be interested to see next week, because the other thing that I think was a bit of a challenge about this episode is they basically had 3 challenges, and the added admin of start of season Matt chat introducing people, but I still felt like we got a lot of camp time, which is what I really want out of these longer episodes, is more time getting to know the people and their relationships and their dynamics. So it'll be interesting to see next week with a more typical episode if we get a better split of seeing all the people. I feel like 44 did that well too. Of us getting to know everybody. Yeah, the editing was definitely more even last season. I just hope that we don't spend 20 minutes of a 90-minute episode on a challenge every week because we have the extra time. We don't want more time to watch the challenges. We want more time to see what these people are doing. Katurah, Kendra, and Kelly being born in September was more important than the women on the Reba tribe. Yep, correct. They were all born in September, but I think 2 of them are Virgos, and Kendra, in case you missed it, is a Libra. But if the 3 of them get together, I think that's really rad. I would love to see it. I would love to see the 3 of them go really far. I like all of them. I have Katurah and Kelly on lots of my draft teams. But don't abbreviate those women's names. No, don't. Just call them what is it? what's the Bello women or the blue women. But in fairness to the editors, we got that whole segment of the Blue Tribe women and basically nothing from the Blue Tribe men other than that Bruce is irritating people by telling them how to do things. Whereas then in contrast, on the Red Tribe, we saw two of the men looking for idols or advantages and therefore didn't get much of the women. It's, you know, who is doing things that are driving the story. Those three women are aligning. That's something that's driving the story. Bruce tells Kendra weaving palm fronds is a waste of time. That's driving the story. Because it's not a good look, my dude. Bruce, you played one day. Yeah, 12 hours. Like, not even a whole day. And also, how are you going to have played 12 hours and say that weaving palm fronds is a waste of time when we've seen people do it on every season? If it was a waste of time, returnees would not be doing it. But they always are. Like, you didn't spend any time in a shelter. So we'll see what happens. Brando and Jake were too busy failing Sweat versus Savvy. Yeah, true. It didn't rain in those 12 hours, Bruce. I don't remember, but you're probably right. You know what? Also, shout out to Sabaya for stepping up for Sweat versus Savvy. I think she was probably the other strongest person. Like, I think she and Caleb are the strongest people on the tribe, and that was the right move. But, like, good for everybody for not being like, no, a man has to do it. Granted, one of those men was Brandon, and he was a pile being consulted by medical, but Sabaya's crushing it. Yeah, I really like her. I got such a good vibe from her in her interview. I think she's really charming. I think she has a lot of street smarts, a lot of experience that is gonna play well help serve her well in the game. I have a policy at work of letting people waste time if it doesn't impact me. Yeah. Sabaya is your winner pick. She's like my okay, my top three. My top three people who I think are the best, could do the best, are Sabaya, Katurah, and Kelly. Is it likely that all three of them will make it to the end? No, but those are the three people I universally have the best feelings about. And then I also really like Austin. Bruce was on Tika, though, so he probably got advice from Carson, Carolyn, and Jam Jam post-game. Either way, I just don't believe... I don't believe weaving palm fronds is a waste of time. Given, again, they do it every single season, and returnees would not do it if it was a waste of time. And even if it is a waste of time, that attitude, like, saying that to somebody who's like, well, we can't do much, but we can weave palm fronds even though we don't have a machete. Being like, that's a waste of time. Do you have another suggestion, Bruce? What should we be doing instead? We have no supplies. What would you like us to be doing? Is probably what I would have said. Like, what is your solution to not wasting time that will help us build a shelter? Because we can't chop down bamboo right now. We can't even chop down the palm fronds right now. What would you like us to be doing? Because until you have something to do, I'm going to go weave some palm fronds. Bye. Yeah. Well, you know, it is what it is. We'll see what happens next week. It could be nothing, you know. Fucking Gabler was putting palm fronds on top of people in the first week, freaking them out, and I thought he was gonna go for sure, and then somehow he won the goddamn game. So I've heard alumni talk about it being a waste of time, but still pretty chill. Lean to with palm fronds. Yeah, let's not. I don't want to. I definitely don't want to talk about Gabler. Let's not go down that route. I know I said his name, but still. All right, let's play some Final